Hey Logos, Mr. Cochrane here.
Hi everyone, it's Mr. Cheong here.
Hey, it's Mr. and Mrs. Shrout.
I'm Matthew Wylie.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Stanley. I'm a math teacher at Logos, and I've only been here 1 year.
Just thought I'd send an update. So, a little update. I'm doing well. My family's doing well. I'm working at a school called Western Province Prep, or preparatory school here in Cape Town, South Africa. And my son's about 19 months old. Hey? Yeah, no. Then my wife's doing very well. She's actually pregnant with our next child, who we're expecting on the 21st of July. Hey? But other than that, that's everything that's new. With lockdown and all of that, not much has changed. Just still working, teaching science to grade 6 and 7 and maths. Yeah, and then loving it.
It's been a while. I hope you guys are doing well. And yes, that is a mattress in my back, but I am not lying on it. And so it's been great. Just been helping out the parents with their business every day. It's tired at times, but just grateful and thankful. Some updates in my life. They will be retiring this year, and so I'll be taking over the business. And so yeah, if you're ever in the area, stop by for coffee or for ice cream. And so another update is that I got engaged. So yes, it is the same person that you guys may know from Cambodia. And so a lot of changes this year coming up. So I'm excited. I'm a little scared. So yeah, just gotta pray more.
And we have with us our new daughter Ada and our daughter Zyra that was born in Cambodia. And we're doing really well. We're here in Oregon in the United States. And I'm still teaching, and Jonathan is helping take care of our daughters at home.
Yeah, for the last 2 years, I've been a full-time parent, which is awesome. After teaching for 15 years, hope to get back in the classroom someday, but raising my 2 daughters, it's been pretty cool.
I'm doing well here, and I'm working with the Canadian Mental Health Association, and I'm thinking of you often, praying for you, and I hope that as you come to the end of the school year, that you'll be blessed and that you'll have a great time off, and then whether you're finishing school or coming back at the end of the summer break, that the Lord would just help you be prepared for that, and that you would find peace in this troubled time.
All right, what did I do to keep my sanity during the COVID lockdown? Well, I did 2 things. I ran suicides outside to keep physically fit. So yeah, my middle school soccer boys will remember that. And then I actually taught myself a new skill. I taught myself some basic coding and yeah, learned to automate some stuff that just made my life a little bit easier. But yeah, it was a lot of fun, learned a lot, but I'm also very happy it's over. At least the lockdown. COVID's still raging here.
What's kept me sane during this pandemic is, it's just sports, I guess. Watching sports, not necessarily playing sports. I do miss playing basketball at Logos, but just sports, just being in the Word is always gives you calmness and just relief, even before the pandemic, and especially during the pandemic. So being in the Word.
But we've been pretty busy during COVID, trying to keep sane. We've been playing a lot of board games. We love board games. We have a huge collection here at home, and that's all we did for like months on end, board games every night. It's pretty cool.
What are you doing to stay sane in this time? And this is one of them. I come down to places like this in nature and just try to reflect on the day and think about all the things that I can be thankful for. And this is a practice that I've been doing, and I do it with my son also. I often write it down, but he does it verbally. But thinking about, we can call it thankfulness journaling, and thinking of all the good things that are happening in your life that you have, and just listing them. And when we do that, it gives us a perspective that although there's a few things that might be very stressful, very difficult right now, there's so many other things that are going as they always have, that are continuing on, and other things that are great that are happening in our lives, and so many blessings God has given us.
As far as COVID and how I have kept my sanity, the primary thing that I've done is try to stay away from electronics when it's not necessary. Especially when we were doing school online, we could be on the computer for hours a day. So as soon as the school day was over and I didn't have any more work that I had to do, I would just turn off my phone, my computer, any devices, and go outside for a walk. I read books. I purposely read books that were in different genres than I'd ever read before. So it's like history books, nonfiction. I love biographies, so that wasn't different. Even some fiction books, but just reading. Also, my husband and I played a lot of board games, different activities like that. And then as far as staying connected with people, I did do some Zoom or just online group chats and messaging video things with lots of people. For example, a friend of mine hosted a murder mystery party. We just did some worship time with my kids or had random conversations and just silly time to hang out because my kids all live in different cities in America.
How would I describe my teaching experience at Logos? I would say it was brilliant, in one word. I really enjoyed it. I grew and learned so much. And as I say that, I want to be specific here. I'm not talking about Cambodia and the experience of living overseas, although I loved it and that was great. I'm talking about Logos, just that school. The community and the people made it a fantastic place to work and teach. I fell in love with the students and the staff, and I do miss it on a regular basis just because of the support that was provided there. So that's the one thing that when I think back on my teaching experience there, it was the people that I really enjoyed.
I'll describe my experience teaching at Logos. Oh boy. Few of you guys actually had the privilege, or not the privilege, the experience at least of being taught by me in some classes. And, it's a moment I'll forever be grateful and thankful for, because teaching at Logos was the first time teaching anywhere for me, and so by experience, by education, I was not a teacher by any means, and so forever grateful for the fellow teachers that helped tremendously, as well as you guys, the students. You guys were so gracious towards me, looking back, and I made a lot of mistakes as a teacher, looking back, but forever thankful, forever grateful, because you guys were very kind, very gracious towards the mistakes I made, especially the current seniors with their World War II simulation. So, oh boy, but yeah, it's a moment I'll cherish for the rest of my life. And to be honest, I still do have dreams about Logos here and there at times, and so.
And we just loved working in Cambodia at Logos. We love that community. We miss you guys a ton. We wish we were still there, but we feel God called us home here to Oregon.
I would say the experience at Logos was a big growing experience for me, because I'd never taught preschool or high school before, so I got to learn how to do choir and teach even younger kids, and I really enjoyed being at Logos, and like Mr. Shrout said, we really miss it.
So far, teaching at Logos has been a really great experience for me. It's totally different than any school that I've worked at before. I've never worked at a Christian school where we can openly talk about God, so that's been really nice. I've enjoyed having the conversations with my students during chapel and homeroom, and even during our regular class time. Also, Logos is a much smaller school. For example, the last school that I worked at was only 9th through 12th grade and had over 3,000 students. So it's definitely a different environment than Logos. And I've really appreciated working at a school where the students have such a great attitude, they're very respectful, and they give a good effort. Even though I teach math and a lot of people don't have math confidence or they don't like math, I feel like the students still always give a good effort and show a lot of respect to the teachers. And so it's just really different than what I've experienced before. And so it's been really great.
What advice can I give to my students, my past students? There's a lot of things I can say, but if I were to boil it down, it would be a simple one line: trust Jesus. And I know that sounds a little cheesy and a little cliched, but it's something that God's doing in my heart. He's been doing it on my heart for a long time, and it's really tough at times because we plan our lives. We know exactly what we want. We get everything organized. And God might not have the same idea for us. And I want what's best for our students and for my students. And that's what Christ has in mind for them. So we so often plan our lives and we're like, I want it this way, I want it then, by this time, I want that. And I think this might resonate more with with the students who are finishing up this year and going to graduate, and they're planning out what the next few years of their lives are going to look like. And that planning is stressful because you want it to go right. But it helps to trust Jesus and ask what Jesus wants for our lives, because that's something I've been struggling with. I've had some opportunities recently that I could have stepped up and taken charge of some stuff. And in my head, I'm like, I can do good. This is what God wants for me. But when I prayed about it and when I considered Jesus's side, he was like, no, this isn't for you right now. And that was hard for me to accept, but it was good. And I really believe that, because sometimes I do things that God says, yes, do this. And it's hard at the end of the day, but I see the value in it because I know that Christ has a plan for me. So I just want to say to all of you, trust Jesus. Bring him in. Pray about decisions you have to make, about these plans we try and lay out and try and get right. Jesus has the plan, and his plan is what's best for us. And sometimes it's hard, and sometimes it's easy, and sometimes it's in between. But it's a comfort to do that with Jesus. Yeah, that's my advice. Hope it helps.
A piece of advice you will give to your students, former students. I think probably the biggest advice, or one of the simple advice that I can give you guys, is to trust God. It's very simple. It's a cliche. You heard it from all your teachers. You heard it from possibly your parents, maybe friends. But I think especially during these times, trusting God is such a relief, because this pandemic has shown how small we really are, how weak we human beings really are. And so just put in perspective, compared to the creator of the universe, we are so small. And so trust God, especially to current seniors that will be graduating. I miss you guys. I don't think I'll be able to attend your graduation, but trust God. God doesn't exist only in Logos, but he does exist outside of Logos as well. Just because you're free from Mr. Barrett's lectures don't mean that God doesn't exist anymore. And so trust God, especially during the ups and downs of life, especially the downs, when you feel alone, when you feel not loved or taken care of. There is God that is out there looking out for you and loving you. And so trust him with all your heart. He will not disappoint you. And so
for advice, I would say just be praying to God and listening for his voice, and that way your dreams can align with his wants for your life, and that will be a pretty awesome life, and he's got great plans in store for you.
Agreed. This life is crazy, especially right now. And with the anxiety that people have, the only peace you can truly find is in God. And so I really encourage you to seek Him out in all things, whether it's school, family, relationships, friendships, all those things. The Prince of Peace, man, that's where it's at. So,
And another thing that's helped me in those especially stressful moments is some breathing exercises. And sometimes in this modern life, it's like we're continually under stress. And there's so many different things that can cause us to have these panicking moments. And for our bodies, uh, any type of stress is treated the same way physically. And so if we can shut off that fight or flight mentality, that reaction that comes to us, it'll go a long way to helping us stay healthy mentally. And so we can do what we call box breathing, because there's 4 steps. And it's just a simple exercise where you breathe in, you hold it for 4 seconds, you exhale, and you hold it for 4 seconds, and then you continue this box, and you're holding in and out. And this has an amazing effect on the brain, and it helps us snap out of that panic situation and think more clearly. And when we do that, we will realize that although this is stressful, whatever situation we're in, whether it's um, running from a lion or public speaking or just the day-to-day stress of lockdown, that it will pass and we can get through this, and that we are going to make it. And so I just wanted to encourage you and bless you. I was thinking of you and praying for you often. And one of the verses that's helped me many times in my life is found in Romans 8:18. It says, "For I reckon that the sufferings of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory which will be revealed in us." And so even though we do recognize this is a bad time, a difficult time, we also recognize that God is in control, and the glory He's going to reveal will be so much better than anything we go through now. And so,
As far as advice that I would give to students at Logos, I would say do hard things. And I think maybe that you hear that sometimes, but you're not really sure what does that mean, do hard things. And so I'll give you a few examples real quick. It could be like physical challenges, like running a marathon or lifting heavy weights, or going for a hike, climbing a mountain, just different things like that. It could be something like trying different foods, things that you don't think that you're going to like, or maybe you're a little bit afraid of it, but go ahead and try it. As long as you know that it's safe and clean, why not? I'm trying to think of other ideas. Lots of things could be difficult. Traveling to places that you've never been, learning a new language, going up and talking to people, especially if you're nervous or shy, reaching out to new people. Also, something that's difficult in a mental way is admitting when we've done something wrong, apologizing, owning up to our mistakes, and just asking for forgiveness. If you ask for forgiveness in a sincere way and the person doesn't give you forgiveness, then that's on them. But it's good for you to challenge yourself to do that. And also asking for help. If you're having a struggle, maybe you're feeling depressed or lonely, maybe you're confused about something. It could be any kind of thing, but you're just really feeling like you are stuck and you're alone. It's good to ask for help. And that can be difficult, but hopefully you have someone that you can trust. If not, reach out to someone who's on staff here at Logos. Ask a friend if they have someone that they trust, and then you could maybe just talk to that person and just tell them that your friend recommended them to you. So I just encourage you to do hard things, mental things, spiritual things, physical things, all different kind of hard things, because then you'll look back in life and be able to see the growth that you've had from challenging yourself.
I just wish you all the best. I hope we'll meet again someday.
we
We
hope
love you.
Yeah, we love you guys. We really miss you.
Bye.
Bye.
I think that's a wrap. Sorry if it was awkward, because I'm kind of awkward, but until we meet again,